What up? What up? What up? Now, from the west to the east. Good morning, my man Dom. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling really good. Why do I hear music? There we go. How you doing? I didn't know if that was me or you.
Oh, I was trying to give the people a little background music,
That's
lighten up
good.
this Saturday. Just lighten it up a little bit.
I was just having such technical difficulties this morning. I didn't know what was up. Good morning, DJ Big Boss. We made it. My fault. We're a little late, but hey, we are here, ready to go. Light it up. Another week of college basketball. Getting to be a little. This is a time of the season, man. We got to be careful. We've had a pretty good run to start the season. These last week or two have been a little up and down, a little roller coaster. You know, conference play and blah blah blah. So it's getting to be a little tight these games. Some good matchups, some real good matchups today. Today's like a real good day of matchups. Some real tough games. But like I said, man, conference play. We're getting closer and closer to conference tournaments. And of course, like we all know, March Madness, what, maybe 6 weeks away. So there you go.
Yeah, shout out to my man Justin up in here early, giving us
Just
the
in.
good. He says Utah Valley plus 5.5. Um,
They're a good team. They've been good
Play
to
of the
me,
day
Utah
record
Valley.
is 137 and 138. So yeah, plus spots I like. I'm still allergic to Saturdays, man. I tried everything. I tried
Allergic.
um I tried my superstitious stuff. I tried just taking first halves. I've tried just taking the dogs. And Saturdays just don't seem to work out for me. I don't understand it. So today I'm gonna try, following the chat, following you, Dom. I definitely I play all week. I have no problem playing Monday through Friday, but somehow Thursdays and Saturdays with the huge card just drown me out. Maybe it's like a personal thing. I don't know. So I'm gonna be the capper that I am. Use some of my other sharp tools like capping the capper and stuff like that to try to make way, man. Because I like to make money on Saturdays too, though.
Yeah, of course, of course. I had a real good Saturday last Saturday. Um, I what I've been doing more and more is I bet a lot of the same teams. I've been following a lot of the same teams, same conferences, like you do with the Big East. I've been trying just to narrow it down and trying to keep to those teams because, especially on a Saturday, because there's 100 games today, and I think last week every team played. I think last week, or almost every team played. I think there was 150 games or something last week, and there's what 320 whatever the hell teams. So, but today there's 100 games, man. So again, I stuck with the teams that I bet a lot. Some of them, are teams that are well known teams, and sometimes that makes it a little bit tougher capping. But we'll see how it goes. I got a couple plays. I got one, two. I got a few plays, but two of the games I have two plays on each game. I got 3 games, but 5 bets. One, two, three, four. Yes, that's what I did. So that's how I'm doing it today. We'll see how it goes. Utah Valley, like Justin mentioned, man, a good team. They've done well. They're one of those. That conference out there is a sneaky conference where Utah Valley plays. Keep our eye on that, man. If I'm noticing some of these conferences are like top heavy and they're not really good throughout the whole. And some like even the Big East. I mean, the top end of the Big East is really good. The bottom end, not really as good. But there's some conferences like the Mountain West. A lot of those, like almost all those teams are pretty good, except maybe the bottom one or two. But anyhow, that's how we do it. Last night I did have I lost Iowa team total over 80.5. They scored 79 points. The old. That happens. If that doesn't happen to you in college basketball, then you just aren't betting enough. Because those 1 point games get you all the time, and a lot of times you win by the 1 point. So it's give and take. But I lost that team total like that. I did have the team total over with the Creighton game. That game got out of hand and they ended up losing. Remember we were talking about the point spread too high yesterday, DJ? It went up to
Yeah,
10.5, and we're like, Butler shouldn't be 10.5 point favorites. But I mean, we should have backed that theory because they ended up winning outright, but Creighton did score 90 points or whatever it was, so I hit that one.
So
So there you go.
to add on to that about the Big 12, I'm gonna tell you guys today because, like I said, like Dom said, we talked about it yesterday, and I was like, when it comes down to the Big East, man, those guys they battle each other pretty well. Especially during conference play, unless it's a clear top seed team versus a clear bottom feeder, then they may cover the spread. But as we seen last night with Butler and Creighton, Butler covered the spread again, won the game outright. Today, I see the same thing in Marquette and Georgetown. So that is a play that I'm going to put in. That's Georgetown plus 12 right now, and Georgetown is not a clear bottom feeder in the conference, and they put up a fight against a bunch of competition. So,
They're
well,
getting better.
let me
They're
let me
getting
let
better.
me retract that. Georgetown is a bottom feeder.
Yeah,
They're
but
next to last, but it's a rough thing. Like you see in Big East play, look at all the
whew,
schools: UConn, Marquette, Creighton, Seton Hall, Butler, Providence,
yep,
St. John's,
yep.
Xavier. I mean, even being a bottom feeder, you're not that bad.
That's a tough.
So
That's a tough conference. Tough
yeah,
conference.
tough conference. So I'm going to take those points in that one with Georgetown on a Saturday. Let's hope they don't get their caps blown off. But that is the only play that I see clearly
What is
today.
that?
Like
2 p.m. game. That's a 2 p.m. game. Georgetown is home. Listen, they're a scrappy team. They're a growing team. They're a young team. I think as conference play goes on, Georgetown is one of those teams that'll when you least expect it, they'll. And it's when they're a big underdog is when they're going to get you
yeah,
too. Not on that close 4, 5 point, 3, 4 point game. On a big like spread like this, sometimes you'll get that. The other Big East game that I didn't touch, either one of these games yet. Is the UConn St. John's tipping off at 12 o'clock at the Garden. Uh, if anyone's playing that, be aware that St. John's is that Madison Square Garden is really like a second home to St. John's, and it's really a key if you're capping St. John's basketball. But I'll tell you something: the number two team that's a lot of people come and watch at MSG is UConn. That place will be half UConn fans, half St. John fans today. So don't. A lot of times people talk about the advantage of St. John's. I live here. I'm 10 miles from. I'm 5 miles from St. John's University. I've watched plenty of games on that campus. I've gone to plenty of games at the Garden. It does get crazy when they play, but it won't be that home court advantage today. I think they got a good shot though against UConn. UConn's off a big game the other night. I think that St. John's has a shot today to maybe do a little bit of maybe catch UConn. But I'm not touching that game. Uh, and that's the first game I'm on. I wonder what. Let me see if I can get the times. I'm on 3 games. The first game, I think this game is early. Let's see. What time is I'm on Houston, Kansas game. Um, what the hell time does it start?
who do you
Oh,
like in
4
that game?
p.m. Oh, it starts at 4 p.m. I'm on that game. I'm on the Texas TCU game, and I'm on the Iowa State game. So let's talk about Texas TCU since let's talk about that pick because that's the one I am on. I don't have it in time zones here. Let me get to that game.
I
Texas
can get a
TCU.
time for you. The time
Yeah,
is 11 a.m. my time, so that's what
so
2 p.m.
2 o'clock
your
game here. So that's probably the first game I got on the board. My 3 games, like I said, was TCU, Houston. I know they play at 4 o'clock my time, and the other game is the Iowa State. Let me know what
So
time they play.
that's very interesting, Dom, because we pick a lot of small schools during the week, and we're on a big time Saturday, and you're all
On
over
Saturday, I seem to go with the big time schools.
top
It's the games
25.
I'm watching. It's the games I'm watching. It's the games I go with. There are a couple little schools that I do like later in the day. I'm trying to. I'm hopefully. I like St. Mary's today. For instance, I was looking at Cleveland State against Oakland. There's a couple games that I kind of like, but Florida, Texas A&M, I like that game too. I like Texas A&M, but that's a big game. I think Florida's in for a letdown today. But anyhow, you're right. You're right what you're saying. Um,
So I can predict that you're on TCU today.
I'm on TCU minus 4.5.
Yeah, I
They're
knew it. I knew
they're a
it.
great home team. They're a team I like. They're a good team overall. They're very good at home. Texas is off that Texas is off a real tough game versus Houston. They were home. They lost at home to Houston, and they could have won that game. That was a tough one, 76-72, where Houston was favored by a bunch. But I'm talking about Texas. Texas was home, and they lost that game, like I said, versus Houston. That was a tough loss. Now they got to go on the road to a real tough place in TCU. I like TCU at home. They have one home loss all year. They covered by last out Texas Tech. They won by 7. They won that game against Baylor, which was triple overtime. Uh, I remember I had the under in that game, so you know what happened. So you can only guess if I won or lost that game. Triple overtime. Good morning, Jimmy Gomez. One of the team Who-Bangin, man. A main staple of the team Who-Bangin team. What's up, Jimmy? Good to see you up early today. Must be up with the kiddies. Texas is number ranked. Here's what I like. And I love teams that are offensive rebounding teams that leads to second chance points. I just love that stat. I use it a lot. I think it means a lot. As much as turnovers and foul shots, offensive rebounding to me is a big stat. They're ranked number 20th. Texas is ranked up 200th in defensive rebound. I think that just gives the edge of TCU in a lot of ways. I took a minus 4.5. Short, sweet, and simple.
So I'm gonna take them on the money line. I'm gonna put it in the parlay. So
What is
I'm
the
gonna
money
leave with
line?
that with
200?
185.
Uh huh.
So
I
I got
I got you.
TCU. Let me see. Well, let me put my Georgetown pick in
If
first.
you go to Georgetown plus 12.5.
Georgetown plus 12
Gotcha.
minus 105.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
So I'm gonna drop that one in, and then I'm gonna lead this parlay with TCU. I took a look at it real quick. I like the fact that TCU averages about let's say about 7 more points, almost 8 points a game than Texas. The Texas has a slight edge on defense by about 2 points, but neither one of the two teams are like true under teams. So I don't believe in the defense in those situations. So I'm going to go with the scores, which is TCU, and they're at home. So I'm taking them in the number one spot in this parlay money line. Let's get some more.
There
Let's
you
go. Let's
go.
talk about Kansas and Houston.
I guessed it right, huh, Jimmy? And he was up. He's up this time. The little ones are up. But yeah, I got you. That's right. All right, so we got some TCU love going in that game. That's good. The next game I took, DJ, was Houston. Now Houston's on the road. I love Houston, man. I love that team. I've been doing well. I've been able to hit them on their totals. I've hit them on their games. They've been good to me. Let's see if they're good to me today. They go to a tough place and play in Kansas. I agree to that, but I think they are just a better team. But what I do like the most of this game is Houston's team total over. It's at 67.5. I think that they sail over that number. I don't think Kansas' defense. When Houston gets hot with those threes, look out. They slow the pace down. They hold on. They got the ball a lot of possessions. I like them today. Oh, here they are. I like them today. I mean, Houston's the number one team, if arguably the number one team. I know some teams maybe have. I don't know who they have, but I think Houston's the number one team, ranked 18th in offense, number one in defense. Here's the thing that got me. Houston's against the spread record isn't great, 11-9-1. But if you look deeper into that, 4 of those 9 games that they did not cover were big point spreads. I think 2 of them were 17 plus. They were all like 14 or 15 or higher. So, and I know 2 of them were 17 or higher. So this is a close game. Houston seems to win those close games. What I'm talking about right now is why you got to look deeper into stats. You just look right off the bat. Oh, 11 and 9 and 1. Oh, they don't cover that much. But look at the games they did cover and look at who they didn't cover. It's tough to cover 17-point spreads, man. You know? So if I look back into those games and see what they won by, they won those games, but they, so take that. You got to watch some stats, man. Take some stats with a grain of salt sometimes, and sometimes you got to look deeper into those stats. Kansas 9 and 12 against the spread. They they're decent at home, but they only beat really two good teams at home, and one of them is UConn, who they beat at home. But I don't. I think Kansas is a little bit overrated. Their defense is ranked 26th. Um, I don't. I think they can't hang with Houston. I like this game. I almost played the over also, but and I know Houston overs are tough to play, but and most of the time you'll play an under with Houston. But I still think there's going to be some points scored in this game. I took Houston's money line minus 118 to win the game on the road, and I took Houston team total over 67 and a half. There
Well,
you
I'm gonna
go.
stay away from that game right there because
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I
So
like
how about some
Kansas.
crazy ones, man? How
I
about
like
some?
Kansas. As a matter of fact, so I'm gonna stay away from that game right there. I was on that Houston Texas game recently, and Houston
And
kind of scared us.
Justin likes Kansas, and I don't blame him. This is a tough, tight game. I feel it'd be hard pressed for me to lose both these bets, but it can happen. I would think if this game is going to get into the 70s, I really like the over in a way too. But I don't know. I feel Kansas might be a little bit overrated. I don't really like the teams they beat so much at home, but you can make a case for Kansas without a doubt. But my man Wu it makes a good point, and I agree that they don't have the depth. Yeah, Houston definitely does. But this is a big game. This is going to be a good one. Um, surprising. Damon, you like San Diego? That's so
Oh,
surprising.
really?
So surprising.
Yeah, so surprising.
That's my boy right there. Good morning, Dame. Glad to see you.
Including the Aztec tattoo over your eye. That's impressive. And I would piggyback on that one, Damon, let me take a look at it seriously.
Yeah, we could take
But
a look at that one.
San Diego State has been so wishy washy. It's like those teams that are real volatile like that. I just leave them alone. It's no big
You know,
deal.
I hear you. I like to play those games on a Saturday. During the week I'm not playing those, but I like playing those on a Saturday.
Five and a
During the
half
week the
point
games I'm
favorite.
on. But yeah,
Um, Looks like Utah State can score like hell. About 6 points better than San Diego State, and San Diego State defense is supposed to be where they get their money. They're only about 2 points better than Utah State. And let me take a look at something. Let me take a look at the line right here. Let's see. This
let's see.
opened at 5 and it's up to 5.5. So not much line movement. No telltale signs in that. The other thing I wanted to say, and this is another thing too, looking at these teams. What teams are they having to play ahead? Because we're getting ready to go into conference. What position teams are in their conference and what games they have to
That's
play
right.
going forward, it means a lot right now. So
Strength of schedule,
um,
baby. Means the
Utah's
schedule means a lot.
top ranked. Utah is top ranked in this conference, and San Diego State, they're coming up over there. And let me see who they have next. I'm gonna look at San Diego State, see who they have next. They have Air Force, tough defense. Then Nevada, that's a pretty good team. But then Colorado State, New Mexico State, Utah State again. So this is the first of two. Fresno State, San Jose State, UNLV, and Boise. So it's
Wow.
real conference play right there. So sometimes if it gets that thick right there, I look a little more into what the heads look like because and see what happened the last time they matched up. So last time they played was March, well into March Madness. And San Diego State won 62-57, covered a 2 point spread, and the game went under. When they played during the season in 2023, the first time they matched up, San Diego State won as well, 85-75. San Diego State was -7 and covered. Then they played again February 8th, 2023, and it was 63-61. The second time was much tighter than the first time, and San Diego State covered a +3 again. So San Diego State has covered the last four and also won the last four. So I
They're
don't
ranked
know,
really
David. I
close,
might have
man.
I might have to add that San Diego State into my science today.
San Diego
Um,
State's ranked 38th. Utah State is what is it? They're in the 40s. I thought they're really
their
close.
rankings.
Yeah, Utah State's 41. San Diego's 38. That's let's see how they do within the versus the top 50. So they're both in the top 50. That's a tough game, man. That's a good game. I'm a little worried about that point spread at 5.5, though. But um, I'm a little. I like
I want
Utah.
let's talk about that point spread. So, looking at the history of the two teams, looking at the line, could be some telltale signs in there. As far as what the books are thinking. So remember, the book's job is to bring money in on both sides. So if you see a 5.5 with San Diego State, the first thing comes to my mind is why. Why are they such favorite at home? They're playing a top seed team. Kind of makes me feel like the book knows something that we don't know. And traditionally, right now, when I have those situations, I ride with the book. I'm not here to try to reinvent the wheel. They're saying 5.5.
Okay.
I'm saying I don't understand it because of the grouping in the conference, and it's still a little early in this conference play, and it's some time to move around. So I think this could be a great Saturday for San Diego State.
Home court. Home court's worth of they even the same they say the same in football, but in basketball they still say it's around 3 points, 2.5, 3 points. It's worth
Yeah.
home of. So if you feel that so which really puts this game at a like a -3, -2.5 on a neutral court. So they still got the advantage. I'm trying to find them. I can't find them on the Ken Palm, but I'm
So
just
I'm at,
learning. I'm just
I'm
learning Ken
adding
Palm.
them. I'm adding them. My man Damon, you
Look at
talked
you!
me
Look at
into it.
you!
I'm adding them at a -260 in my parlay. Brings my parlay up to +113 right now, and I'm not done. I need more money than that on a Saturday.
Money, 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 money. Well,
So
see,
let's
what do you feel?
let's
What
go
do you
back and scrape them.
what do you feel about this game then? The next game that I'm on, the third game that I'm on, Iowa State versus Baylor. I took the over 142. I look at this game going into the 150s. I also took Iowa State. Iowa State. By the way, one of the teams I really like a lot. I like this team a lot. I say keep your eye on this team. I took the team total over 69 and a half. I took Iowa State the game full game over 142 and a half. Both these teams could run. Both these teams could shoot the three. Um, Iowa State's pace is quick. Baylor's is not as quick, but I could just see this game going back and forth. I like Iowa State here. I like Iowa State really to win, but it's a tough place. Baylor, another home courts are tough, man. If you look at that, these home courts in conference play, they do mean a lot, and that's why I didn't touch the point spread. But I would definitely lean Iowa State. But I don't know if anybody else has anything on this, but
I'm gonna take a
I
look at
took
it.
the
So
over 142 and a half. I think it's low. I think it's low. This is one of my favorite games of the day. I actually put a little bit. I usually stick to my 1 unit. If anything, I'll go to a half a unit. This game, I put 1.5 units on this over 142 and a half.
yeah,
So that's it. Quick.
142 is a low number too for these two
Yeah,
teams
I
coming in
think
here.
so.
Um,
And
Iowa
I'm going to tell
State.
you why. I'm going to tell you why, DJ. Baylor has gone under the total in 4 games in a row. And I think they're over adjusting because of that. Iowa State has gone over the total in those games, but Baylor has had a lot of home games that gone under. But I think sometimes the books get it wrong, man. They're not always right. So
That's our job. Our
right,
job is to beat the books.
that's right. So there you go. So
I love
I took the 142 and a half. Hope let's see what happens. I see Jimmy talking about capping some NBA now. I'm not an NBA guy whatsoever, but I'll tell you.
I tell you, your mic is off. Oh, I guess he knows his mic is off. But
There, there you go.
oh, there
My
you go.
back. I
Yeah,
can
you
tell you
back.
one thing. What was I saying just now before that happened? Oh yeah, I'm in Long Island. I'm in New York. I'm not an NBA guy, but I can tell you something. Everybody's going crazy over the Knicks around here. The Knicks is just like everybody's just going wild. A lot of my friends are NBA guys. Jimmy, is the Knicks that good? I mean, I know they're on an 8 game win streak. I know they're actually a team that plays defense, in which is a rare thing it seems in the damn NBA. Every night there's a 60-point scorer. But are the Knicks that good? That's my question to you, Jimmy. Are the Knicks that good? Are they worth a little shot of any kind of future? Uh,
Yeah.
that's really what I wanted to know. But get back to this Iowa State game, DJ, over 142.5, and the team total. That's what I got. I don't know if you want to add that to your little parlay, but
Wow. So this opened at 146 and a half, and it's all
that's
the way
right.
down to
And
142 and a half. So
now I've went against the big drops like that in a few games. Twice Purdue went down 6 to 8 points from the opening and was bet down, and they hit the over. It's happened. I've hit that twice. Um, listen, like I said, people listen. Saturday's a big public day, and a lot of times these point spreads and on some of these big games are the teams that people just they don't look into games like us. I've been capping for the last 3 hours. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't doing that. Like Jimmy, like Justin. That's. I think people look at things like, oh, Baylor goes under the total all the time at home. And boom, they automatically go with stats like that. Listen, it could definitely go under, right? I just think that the
absolutely.
I don't agree. Listen, I don't not bet games because of what the point spread's saying. If I'm on a game, I'm on a game. If it, the just because the points go against you doesn't mean that you're gonna lose the game. So and a lot of public
Well,
play on this time of
that's
year,
that's
college
another
basketball.
situation. That's another
Go ahead,
situation like
buddy.
I talked about earlier, where you got to listen to the books. The books told you 146 and a half. It goes all the way down to 142. I can't join the public at this time. I'm gonna have
Right.
to go over in that game.
Yeah.
So I'm with
Hopefully,
you on that one. But I'm not putting it in my parlay.
right. That's a tough one.
Uh,
That's a tough one with a point drop. I wouldn't put it in the parlay either. I
no,
wouldn't
I'm not
either.
putting it in the
You're
parlay.
you're, you're right. You're right not to. Um, I'll tell you a game that I do like today, and that I don't know. See what you think about it. See what the chat thinks about it. And it's a game I'm on the fence about. Florida versus Texas A&M. I've been on Florida a lot this year, and I've lost a bunch of games with them, and I won last few of them. They won. They've lost a lot of games at the beginning of the year that they shouldn't have. Florida's a good team. They can shoot. They're big, big, tall kids on that team. What they don't do is play defense. And I just think that today is a bad spot for Florida at Texas A&M. First of all, Florida is off that OT win versus Kentucky in Kentucky, 94-91. That is the second game in a row that Florida was in an OT game, OT games. OT game and won. They covered and won. OT games are what? Emotional games when you win or you lose. It is tough for them to come, I think, on the road after those two overtime games, coming to Texas A&M, who's been off for a week preparing for this game. They're rested. They're preparing for this game. Texas A&M is an up and coming team. They're getting better and better. Yeah, man. See, Will, you're on that, right? You're in that. You like that, right? You're, I know what you're thinking is exactly what I'm thinking. And it's just a spot more than anything. I mean, if you want to look at all the numbers, all the metrics, yeah, Florida was ahead on probably most of them. But sometimes it's not all about the stats. If it was, we'd all be rich, right? Let's face it. So I like the tech. The -2.5 worries me a little bit. I agree. I like I'm looking for a spot to put that money line in a parlay. That was the game that I've been thinking about, and it's Texas A&M. But I will be on that on one way or another. I like Texas A&M. I love that Wu likes him. I love that Justin likes him. That's a spot. But as far as any kind of parlay thing, of course, you're not going to. Listen, I don't agree with everything. Value, value, value is one thing. When you're using a parlay, I'll take the -148 instead of a -2.5, -110 in a heartbeat in a parlay. I'll take a couple less bucks not to have to worry about the damn 2.5 points,
Yeah.
But I like that game, and I'm glad to see you guys think the same. So there you go. Jay Peasy in the
What up,
house.
JPZ?
What up, though? Jay Peasy, we need you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you
Might need a
this.
little rap
I'm
from
gonna
you to
be
light it up.
I'm
What's
gonna
that,
be
brother?
off that game with
It's like,
Florida.
I'm not on it yet. It's but
I'm gonna be
it's
off of it because they're too close in conference play. Everybody's fighting to get a spot right now. Those two
scared.
teams are right by each other.
You
I don't want to
scared?
be. Yeah, I am. I don't want to be
I'm only
involved,
teasing
but
you. I'm only
I don't
teasing
want
you.
to be involved with those games again. I want to either be involved with two top teams going against each other or a top team versus a bottom feeder. That's where I
Bottom
want to be.
feeders, like catfish. Bottom feeders,
Yeah,
nasty. OG low banger in the house. OG team who banging member in the house. And one of our brothers, Nasty N8,
Nasty
aka
Nate.
Mr. Trifecta.
Shout
And
out to Nasty Nate and his peoples over there at New Mexico
let
State.
me just quickly shout out to my boys at Team Who Banging,
Did
man.
you see the clip of the dude sock the dude from New Mexico? I mean, it was New Mexico State and damn, I
No,
think get the other team this week. Earlier this week, the guy
I'll have to
just
Google it.
flat out sniffed him. It wasn't no fake elbow to it or nothing. Dropped him in the middle of the game. It was crazy. Go look that up, man. That was crazy, man.
I'll tell you the
I
other
forget
game.
who the team was, but it was New Mexico State versus somebody like on Wednesday or Tuesday. Go check it out.
I got to have to check that out. We always like a good fight, don't we?
It
We
wasn't a
always like a
fight.
good
It
punch.
was a
A good
knockout. It was
punch.
a one
Now
hit. It was a one hitter quitter.
we like those. We like those even better.
It was a
So,
one hitter quitter. I always like the one hitter quitters.
Justin says, yeah, he definitely snuffed them. Another good game today that's on, man. Like I said, there's a lot of great matchups today. Tennessee plays Kentucky. Again, now I didn't bet that game, but Kentucky's off that overtime loss that to the game I was just talking about with Florida, right? But they stay home. They're going to be upset, I would think. I think Tennessee's it might be in a tough spot today. You know what happens with Tennessee this time of year? The old college basketball players always talk about Tennessee's coach, how when it comes to conference play and then into March Madness, his home court starts shrinking. But they're on the road today. But Tennessee in general starts shrinking. Uh, in the past, they got a good team though this year. I think they're a little bit better than last year. Tennessee. Tough matchup, that Kentucky game. Like to see how they respond in that game. I'm not going to bet that game at all, but I want to see how they respond after that OT loss against Houston, who's obviously a main rival in that game. And another big game today is North Carolina Duke. Jeez, and North Carolina lost that game that they should have won against Georgia Tech. They were favored by big points, right? So that's a tough one, man. A lot of tough games today. There's Raymond Scott in the house. What's up, Raymond? Doing it from Tony's Picks. He does his college basketball show. I think he's doing. Are you doing it every day, Raymond? 10 a.m. If put that in the chat because he's definitely somebody a team who banging man, and we love having him on. He was with Doc and DJ with some college basketball this year. I know you do a show in the morning. Maybe if you're not sick of talking basketball one Saturday, you come on with us afterwards. We'd love to have you. Talk sports with
Raven in the
JT. What's
desert.
up, brother?
Oh,
Raven in the desert. What's up, Raven? Wah,
OG
wah, wah.
low bagger in the
What
house.
up, Raven? Good to see you,
My
man.
man Raven.
Man,
Hey,
talk
but
sports. Everybody's here. Good,
so
man.
I was just I'm looking over some bets trying to find that other pick, and I looked at some stats and shout out to my man Justin early with the Utah Valley pick. Utah Valley 5-1 ATS at home, 83%. That and they're getting plus points today. That's a nice spot. I like that. I'm gonna put that one in too. But that's gonna be a separate part right there. But I'm still scraping for one more bet, so I'm gonna try to manipulate the stats over here and try to find the edge to get in here, man. So
I hear you, Jimmy. Like Ramon, is that what you want, Jimmy? What do you like today, Raymond? Give us a pick or two that you talked about on your show that you like. Maybe DJ needs a little help with a last leg of
need
his
one more
parlay.
money line to cap off this
He needs a
parlay.
money line. So I was looking at the rankings, man. They all got Houston ranked number one, Purdue number two, Arizona number three, UConn number four, Tennessee number five. Those are the rankings I'm looking at. Then BYU, Alabama, Auburn, North Carolina, Iowa State number 10. Those are the top 10 that have been ranking now. I'll tell you, these next couple of weeks are going to be keep your eyes open, man, because there's going to be some crazy games coming up and some key matchups. You know,
Uh-oh,
guys are
Dom.
looking at resumes now. There's a lot of stuff going on. Raven
I
likes
just
the Clemson money line. Let's look at that.
I just ran across another stat
What do they play?
playing
Virginia, Clemson, right? Virginia loves to slow those damn games down. I wonder what
your your
total is in that
squad
game.
your squad Houston today 1-4 ATS as a away team.
Say
I
that
mean,
again.
stats are stats. Houston is 1-4 as a away team.
Yeah, I know.
ATS. ATS.
Yep. But I talked about that ATS record and the games that they lost on these big point spreads. You know, so this ain't the case today. Like I said, that's a tough game, but I'm a Houston fan. I think Kansas is a little bit overrated. I don't think they got. I think Houston's bench is better. I just like Houston. I don't understand that line, to be honest with you. But that's why I took the team total with it. I got the 67.5 team total. Like I said, it'd be hard to lose both, but you could. But the game I'm
Man,
looking at right now was that Clemson Virginia game that Raven mentioned. But yeah, Raven, I took TCU. I took the points -4.5. Um, and DJ did put TCU in money line in his parlay. So there you go, DJ. A little Raven in the Desert recommendation on our picks. So that what
okay,
game?
okay.
I said I was looking to pay Texas A&M in a parlay. I might be doing that, throwing them in with the TCU parlay. That might be the one I'm going to do. I'm always looking for one parlay on a Saturday, so maybe that might be the one. Because I do love Texas A&M, so I won't be off of that. That's for sure. That is for sure. DJ, what game did you bet? You bet the Georgetown game, or you just did the
I
parlay
did
that you're
bet
talking
no, I
about?
did bet the Georgetown game. I absolutely bet the Georgetown game.
You bet that straight.
Yeah, and then I'm
Okay,
working on
cool.
this parlay right here.
Uh huh.
And I also like that over that we talked about. Um and what game was that? The 142 and a half that was started at 146.
Yeah, Raven. He DJ's on that Georgetown +12. I was talking. We were talking about that over. What was that number, DJ? On the over in the Georgetown game? See, Raven likes that. We were
The
mentioning
over
that
in
before.
Georgetown.
Yeah, that I thought that I caught my eye this morning. I thought it was a little low. Let me get to my damn.
It's 152.
Oh, it is. Okay. I wonder how much it went up. Did it go up?
I gotta
Let's
look
see.
that up on the
Yeah.
separate site.
Yeah, me too. I got two computers open and two sites open on each. Um, but I like to see that we all kind of are on the same in the same realm there with these games. Like I said, guys, 100 games today, so you really got to pick and choose, man. And it's all about college basketball this week because next week is the Super Bowl. So I wonder what everybody thinks about that. I can tell you that
Uh, everybody's
quickly.
on.
I can tell you that the Ravens. Speaking of Raven in the desert, the Ravens cost me money last Saturday. That's for sure. I mean, last Sunday. That's for sure.
Them damn
But the
Ravens.
Niners got me back some money in the second half. But the Ravens cost me money that they had a losing. As my usual NFL Sunday, up and down, one good, one bad, one good, one bad. Toughest sport for me. Toughest sport for me. NFL. All right, getting back
What do
to
you think
this.
about that Oakland and Cleveland State?
Cleveland State's a
We
tough team,
was
man. Oakland's off
yeah,
a good win. Remember we said the other night we should have took Oakland. They won pretty
yeah,
convincingly, Oakland, and Oakland's home. I know me and you have taken Oakland a bunch of times this year, right?
yeah.
We've been on them a bunch of times. I don't know, man. Cleveland State's a pretty decent team. That's for sure. Yeah, I like that South Carolina team, Raven. They're a tough defensive team, though. But I see why you like the over. I like South Carolina. They had a really nice win last week, and they're a scrappy team, man. They're like a tough. They're a tough team, South Carolina. When you watch them, it's they are a tough team. Let me get back to that. All right. Boom, boom.
I don't see nothing I really like a lot.
As far as these early games are, Penn State, Indiana opens up at noon. Navy, Colgate, that's a big point spread. Virginia Tech, Miami. UConn at St. John's. UConn taking some money. It's up to 3.5. So the Cleveland State Oakland game. Let's see what we can find out about this game here. Cleveland has hit the money line in 20 of their last 33 games. But so has Oakland. Oakland's won so many games. Even when they haven't covered, obviously their money line has been great. Cleveland State has hit the game total over in 12 of the last 16 away games. A 43% ROI if you're on the Cleveland State full game overs on the road. Interesting.
Mm.
And Oakland has hit the game total over in 18 of their last 31 home games. So both teams, Cleveland State is good on the road in overs. Oakland has done well on the at home with overs. Might be something to take a look at on that game.
Mm. Man, I still don't see nothing I really like. This is crazy. I hate
What do you
Saturdays.
got
The
in so
card is too
far?
big. I just
What's your
got
games so far?
TCU and San Diego State.
TCU and San Diego State you got so far. So you
Mm.
don't like Texas A&M, and you know you're
They're
not
getting
going.
plus points. They're getting plus points at home. I wanna I'm all about
No,
the
Texas A&M is
favorite.
getting plus
I
points
do a
now.
lot of favorites in college basketball, so I'm looking for a home favorite that could bring this bet home. But it's tough. It's tough out here on a Saturday.
Tough on a Saturday. Like I
And
said,
USC, Oregon State, I don't want to take nothing too high. I really want to get something that's kind of competitive that's going to give me a good payout on this parlay. Wait, Yale plays Pennsylvania today. They just played last night.
yeah, that can't be right. Is that tomorrow? Maybe.
No, that's today.
I had that game yesterday. Where do you see that? I don't
Mm.
even see that. What time do you see that game?
I guess it'll be 7 o'clock your time.
Let me see what the hell is that about.
Mm, 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 mm. Ain't nothing popping out. I'm looking for the one that's gonna jump off the screen.
Harvard Cornell. Oh, High Point's playing again today. High Point. I took High Point team total over on Thursday. They hit 90 something points. That team could score, man. High Point is a fast team. They could run. Keep your eyes on that damn
Oh,
team, man.
I kind of like Oregon over UCLA. I was on Oregon earlier this week, and they
Yeah, you were.
cashed.
I think that was Thursday, -2.
They was on the road. They no, I think they were at home, but now they're back. They're playing this UCLA team that is been
Up and
real
down.
up and down too.
Yeah.
You
Same
know
with
that
USC.
at
USC's been
UCLA.
falling off. USC's been falling off. I didn't see that Yale game. I didn't even see that listed, to be honest with you.
Yale versus Pennsylvania, 4 o'clock.
Pennsylvania's been one of my teams that the team total overs have been great. That's a remember I was going on them every time they played. I was hitting a Pennsylvania team total, but their
Yeah.
last team total over went under. I didn't play that last game, but I see Cornell and Harvard.
Let me take a look at this UCLA and
St. Thomas is playing two today. That's another one of our favorite teams. They're on the road though, -2 against Kansas City. Kansas City isn't even good. Um, St. Thomas is off a loss also. That I was on them that night. They should have won that game on Thursday.
yeah, UCLA plays some good defense, but their offense it shits the bed.
They opened up at +1.5. Now that I see them at 2.5. So Oregon has been taking some money. Oregon's 13-8, 4-2 on the road. ATS 13-8 overall. UCLA 2-8 against the spread at home. 9-11 overall. Last 10, Oregon 7-3. UCLA 5-5. So there you go. Like you were saying, up and down. They're 5-5. Both of them 7-3 and 5-5. Both of them 6-4 against the spread. Last 10. 62% of the tickets seem to be on Oregon -2.5. But if you were gonna put them in, you gotta put them in. What's the money line on that?
That's what
One
I'm looking
forty,
for
one
now.
fifty.
I'm looking for that
Because
now.
that might be the way to go.
I see the Yale game on my book as well.
Okay, all right. Maybe
I
they're
don't know
playing
how you
again.
missing it.
I'm not. Oh, I don't know why either. Doesn't matter. I'm not gonna be on that game. I'm surprised they're playing
Minus
again though tonight.
140. Putting Oregon in it right there gives me a plus 266.
There you go.
So TCU, San Diego State, and Oregon with the sweep on LA because they just beat USC and now they come in after UCLA.
All the
There we
Ivy
go.
Leaguers tonight, Raymond said. I got you. Yeah, just ain't seen it. Yeah, yeah. On Friday, speaking about Ivy Leagues, man, Friday seems to be, they talk about it around here a lot. Well, I'm in the center of Ivy League schools, I guess, in the surrounding states area. But they always talk about Ivy League Fridays. We had a couple of good ones yesterday,
Yeah.
but
Well, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here.
all right, good. So we got
It's
some games in.
Saturday.
Yep.
I
Let
got
me
a
talk
couple
about my
games in.
games. Let me
Yeah,
just
let's
give
go
out my
for it.
picks again.
Go for it.
And it's it. What time is it now? 11:59. Good. So 12 o'clock. There's some games. I love watching these games and betting a couple live games. I have some live plays too during the day. But what I did take was TCU -4.5. I took Houston -118. I took Houston team total over 67.5. I took Iowa State full game over 142.5. And at Baylor. And I took the team total over for Iowa State 69.5. So I'm just looking for 70s in my games in Houston and in Iowa State. And I'm going to add that parlay. I don't know what the number's going to be on it, but I'm going to add Texas A&M money line, TCU money line is going to be my Saturday parlay of the day. And like I said, I don't have the numbers because I have my book open right now, but that's what I'm going to play regardless of what the number is.
It's ridiculous on Saturdays scrolling
100
through all
games.
games.
100 games.
Even to put in my bet, and I'm almost getting dizzy scrolling through all these damn games.
That's
What
why, like
time
I
is
said
that?
before, I try to
What time is
keep to
that
the.
Iowa State game?
I believe it's 4 o'clock my time, or 2 o'clock my time, I believe. So 11 o'clock your time. What's up, Wine Time? Good to see you, man. So that's why I say, listen. A lot of these teams, like Iowa State, I bet a lot. Houston, I bet a lot. TCU, I bet a lot. I'm just thinking. There's about maybe 8 teams, maybe 10 teams that I. Florida, I play a lot of their games. And that's not always with these teams. It's also against them and totals and that kind of thing. So I just try to stick to. If I look back over my records, there's probably 8 teams that I played a lot more than anybody else. So, and team
Okay.
totals, I definitely have been doing the best out of my. Besides of totals, overs, unders, sides, it's been team total overs has been pretty good for me. So that's all I got for you guys. I hope everybody has a good day. Cash those tickets. If we get anything else, we'll put it out on our Twitter. Keep tuned to Who-Bangin. We got a lot of things going on. Like we talked about next, we'll talk about during the week and stuff. Next week is Super Bowl. We'll see what we'll do. Next Saturday, I'll light it up. We'll save a little time, talk about the Super Bowl, and let's see what happens with that. DJ,
Absolutely.
anything to say before you get
Hey,
out of here?
make sure y'all watch the live sweat on Tuesdays. Make sure you watch the UFC show on
Fight Lounge.
Thursdays, and always keep a lookout for my man Wham with all the stuff that he does. Wham talk and some more. Big shout out to the chat, my man Raven. Man, it's been a long time. Glad to see you in the chat. My man Ramon Scott shows up every time, and of course Jimmy Romez, Nasty Nate, Jay Peasy, Damon, Justin, a whole list of people that came and seen us today. Man, shout out to y'all, man. But it's time to get out of here, Dom.
See you later, Ben.
All
See you
right,
later,
we out
D.
of
Have
here.
a good day, everybody. Thank you.